Hello, I'm Roxana Rafacha, the founder of Conscious.Enterprises, and welcome to Conversations with Conscious.Enterprises. This conversation is with Meghan Asha, the founder and CEO of FounderMade. And when I first got introduced to Meghan through a mutual friend, she immediately struck me as just super assertive, very fun, and very flowy. She immediately just invited me over to her SoHo loft office to have our conversation, and there was so much going on. She had just wrapped up a photo shoot with the founder of ClassPass. There were people running around working on various accounts. There were people offering me snacks and beverages from their stocked up wellness fridge full of goodies. It was a really cool environment. And if the audio in this interview is a little bit off, please bear with me. I swear I'm looking to upgrade my audio equipment, but this conversation is so worth it to bear with the audio. Meghan Asha is clearly living her dream. She's such an exuberant woman, and she's obsessed with food, wellness, and beauty products like a lot of us are. But she has built all these passions into a platform to bring these brands to market and help them grow. Her business plan wasn't always so clear though, and in this conversation you'll learn how embracing uncertainty and taking small steps at a time have led her to create the business of her dreams. In this conversation, it is so apparent to me that she lives every day in such a state of wonder and excitement for what she's building and how far she's come. And every entrepreneur should be so lucky to operate from this state. And with her advice, you probably can. So please enjoy this conversation. Please follow us on social media. We are on LinkedIn, we are on Instagram, and we are on Facebook. And please subscribe and check out our website, www.conscious.enterprises. Thanks so much. So Meghan Asha, thank you so much for being a part of Conscious Enterprises. It's so awesome to be here in your loft studio here in SoHo. It's really gorgeous. So you are the founder of FounderMade, which is all about food and wellness and beauty. And you also have a trade show with some sort of like thought leadership panel, and I know you're up to all sorts of things. Explain a little bit about what FounderMade is about and what you guys do here.
So our whole mission at FounderMade is to discover the best consumer companies in food, wellness, and beauty and help them build. And the way that we do that is we do a conference series, executive summits, and then we also have a trade show that basically discovers best-in-class brands and connects them to retailers, media, distributors, anything that will help them, drive commerce and build their business.
Awesome. Who are some of like the big names that you have brought to
FounderMade?
Yeah.
So Dave Asprey from Bulletproof Coffee, Daniel from Kind Bar. We had the founder of TRX, which is Randy Hedrick. We also had Tata Harper, Bobby Brown. We had the founder of Ali Webb from Dry Bar, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and their team at Foodster. So we've really basically any of the cool consumer companies. We and also the innovators in the space. We love featuring them because it really just it just inspires everyone.
Awesome, amazing. And what inspired you to start FounderMade? I know you were at a hedge fund at one point. Where did you grow up? How did you get here? Yeah.
So from Silicon Valley originally.
Okay.
My dad actually, and this is part of my story and my journey.
Yes.
He came from India with a backpack and nothing else.
Wow.
And he, ever since I was a kid, he had bought a patent from Hewlett Packard, and it was his daddy's company going public.
Oh, wow.
So literally we went from an apartment to a house, and then his company did. But I watched that entrepreneurial journey from literally going from nothing to something. And so I always say success isn't linear, just be a good person. And so that kind of inspired me. Started off, thought I should be. I probably was trying to be like the firstborn daughter, the proper firstborn daughter. So I actually started in hedge funds.
Yeah.
Was really trying to thinking that was something that was my mission, and quickly realized that I really wanted to do something a little bit more just something that was more in center with what my family and what my dad's legacy and everything. And so basically started a digital media platform, then went to business school and was like asked to lead a couple startups, but really didn't really know what I wanted to do next. And I really started FounderMade as a dinner series. It was just really while I was juggling 2 jobs, and I asked myself, when you're 90, what will make you happy? And it started off as dinners. I did it like in the gym complex in my building.
Awesome.
And it was like a small dinner. And
who was at that first dinner?
Oh my gosh, it was like my friends, and I was like, I just really love this. I was telling it was like my friends in tech and friends in consumer and all these founders, and I didn't really know what it was. And I had one of my best girlfriends. She said, follow the breadcrumbs. Like, you may not know what this will turn out to be, but just like if this is what you love, just do it. So I just thought this was kind of like a side business. And then it just evolved into something more, and now
a lot more.
Yeah, a lot more. And like now I get to live my dream business life, and I get to help people build their businesses, and I get to work with an awesome team.
Wow.
So super, but it wasn't like a clean or easy. It wasn't an easy journey figuring out what I wanted.
You didn't know.
I was always stressing about what I wanted, or what I should be doing, or how I should be doing it, and why am I not there yet, and like. And I think that you just don't know, and you should, and it's hard because everyone says relax and you should, just enjoy the journey.
Right.
But I think those little steps, like nothing's little, take those little steps because you never know where those are going to end up.
Great. That's great advice. Awesome. And how many people do you have now working for you here at FounderMade?
We have 10 to 15. So.
Okay. Wow. It's
moving.
Great. Yeah, you are.
Moving forward.
So what failure in retrospect, did you ever have like any like downfalls or failures that at the time you're like, oh, it's all over for me, it's all done, that now in retrospect you're like, oh my God, that was like such an amazing growth opportunity, or such an awesome learning opportunity?
I mean, I think that there's just, and it's so funny because I there's so many different points in my journey that I look back on and I'm like, oh, that's why I had to have that lesson.
Right.
That's why. So combination of things. One was just even starting, having a partnership that didn't work out. So started a company, and it ended up being something that like the partnership, it was a hard partnership to have, and it felt like almost like a divorce when we and I remember I questioned myself, I questioned my intelligence, I had to go to business school and just to prove that I was okay. And then I realized that like those types of things, like if you and those types of situations will keep mirroring themselves over and over again until you get the lesson out of it, and until you face it in the way that you're supposed to face it.
So what do you think your lesson was in the end?
I think that and some people I think the lesson was to it's interesting, overly communicate. I think that communication's a big reason why kind of certain teams don't work out or certain things aren't executed on. I think that being able to overly communicate, having transparency, trust, integrity with your team is everything.
Right.
And I think that, it was just like an early journey of, hey, you're my friend, let's be partners and let's start a business. And that sometimes isn't the right thing. And then I would just say, I think that's
communication.
It. Communication.
Yeah, for any kind of partnership, I totally see that. Yeah. What do you say makes your business a conscious business? Like, what kind of higher purpose are you providing besides just profits and bottom line?
Well, to us, it's like such a big thing where we, especially because this is a startup helping startups. Our big mission is we want people and entrepreneurs are just the journey is so it's not for everyone, and to be able to help someone who is just beginning get their idea out into the marketplace and then help them scale and then help them potentially, if they want, get acquired or get them funding or get them distribution. Like those success stories are like the things that I was just at a conference and I run into one of our exhibitors and she says, hey, from your conference I got into anthropology and Urban Outfitters, and I video it, I send it to the team and they were like, whoa, like that to us is like for us it's helping their dreams come to fruition. To me, that's like what I want on my tombstone is like we just help build Meghan really like to help build other people and build their businesses. Right. You feel good because you're helping other people feel good. Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have a regular ritual or some sort of routine or practice that keeps you going, keeps you in alignment, helps you de-stress? Yes.
What's that about?
So probably for the last 10 years, I've been doing this gym class called 30-60-90.
Oh, I've taken it.
And it's
that is
really intense. Class. Yeah. It's like high intensity interval training. Yes. So basically you have steps, you have weights. I jump higher now than I did when I was a cheerleader.
Oh my
God. So I do like high jumps. I'm like real crazy. And then I bring all of my, like the interns and everybody, our team, and we like all do it. And they're like, what is happening here? And for me, because I do it every morning, it's become extremely meditative. Mm. And I also think when I'm jumping, I think about my 90-year-old self. And I think, you're going to go through all these times where you're like, have to find patience and perseverance through things. And so that's how I like, even through the gym class, I'm like, oh, I need patience in this part of this class, or this is really hard, or some days I don't feel like doing it, but you just do it.
Right.
And that I think is like the lesson in it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Gets you started, gets you kind of
get
focused.
Those endorphins up, and you're taking care of yourself first, and then you're building your business and you're building others.
Totally.
You know?
How do you integrate your commitment to wellness? I mean, obviously you work with all these different wellness brands, and you're taking care of yourself every day. How do you integrate wellness into your everyday business, with your employees, with your clients, people you're interacting with?
So I always say, like, this is a climb, and this is like just like when you're climbing a hill. Yeah. You need to take breaks. You need to
to
look. Some days you're climbing a hill and you're like, this is a hard trek. I just want to sit here and like sit down on the mountain and not do this. And so I always, in terms of like integrating wellness, we make sure, we're working with wellness founders all the time, but I always say like with our team, like if you're not feeling your best, like this is right. You need to make sure that your energy is good. We're building this all together, and so it's really important that you take care of your health. So part of it is like, right now we're trying plant-based in the office and doing a bunch of fun stuff, but that's also a personal thing.
Right. Right. Awesome. Yeah, if you're not feeling good yourself, you're not going to help other people do what they're doing feeling good.
I say do you, girls, and team, do it.
Yeah. Do you consider your business to be successful today? When will you know when you've like reached that like accomplishment you're looking for? And basically what I'm getting is, how do you measure success?
So it's interesting. I have like a very big vision for this thing. Mm-hmm. So we're definitely at like we're at like the first foot of the hill.
Yeah.
But it's hard because I have to like, it's an ego. It's a combination of just like looking at where you want to go and then like pacing yourself forward. I feel like, I feel like we are successful right now because we get to do what we love,
right?
Which is like such a gift. Yeah. We get to work with people that we respect and admire, and we all are sharing the same vision, mm-hmm. and it's like incredible energy, and people can see that. So, at this point, like, I feel like we've, this is like beyond my wildest dreams already.
Yeah.
And we haven't really like hit where I know we're going to go. But
it's so inspiring.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's super,
With your
super
90-year-old.
Oh, she's smiling every day. She's
like,
smiling every day. She smiled at our first conference. Like when our first conference, and I was juggling 2 jobs while we did our first conference.
Oh my God.
I remember I was like, this day, you couldn't take the meaning of this day away from, like, the amount of meaning that I get from this is something that you can't, like, no money in the world is gonna, it's super, super.
Give you that feeling. Yeah, I know what you mean. That's really awesome. Where do you see the state of the world in, the wellness industry or whatever industries you've kind of been a part of in the next 5 years? And how do you see yourself personally or FounderMade contributing to that 5-year goals?
And I love that you're asking that. It's really interesting what's happening in the consumer sector. Yes. You can see, and I always say, like, what's a FounderMade brand? It's segment defining, it's innovative, it's mission driven, transparent. And so, these smaller companies are actually taking market share away from, and they're smaller wellness companies that are taking market share away from the bigger, corporate CPG companies. And so we want to be the feeder to that. We want to be the discovery engine where consumers, retailers, everyone is discovering these companies through our network, and we kind of have a FounderMade stamp of approval. And so that, to me, I think wellness is a huge movement, and it's just going to continue.
Great, love it. Where do you see yourself and FounderMade in like 10 years from now?
I'm supposed to actually, it's so funny.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to write my 10-year plan this
really?
weekend. So
okay.
I don't know yet.
You'll have to get back to me on that.
I don't know.
Then.
Yeah,
okay.
but I mean, I think that, I mean, what we want to do is we want to drive as much value for the best-in-class consumer companies and innovations.
Right.
And so, you know, I think there's a combination of things that will happen. Number one, we'll have obviously the conferences as they stand.
Right.
To continue to scale that. We have tech that we've built, so think LinkedIn for product companies. So that will be part of that of how we're scaling digitally. And then, you know, also we have a fund that we invest and help build and scale these companies. So
very cool. That's a great. I think you got it. You're done with your 10-year plan. What piece of advice would you like to give to other entrepreneurs that are starting their businesses now with their conscious intentions?
So I would say, let me think about this. I would say, because I was really hard on myself when I was younger about and I was really self-conscious.
Yeah.
And it was the thing that held me back.
Interesting.
And so I would say that make sure, like, you have your superpower. Figure out what your superpower is, and make sure you hire around it. Make sure that you're doing what you know are supposed to do, and I think that it's like, and don't be so hard on yourself. Like, it's okay to start small. Like,
right.
But don't be ashamed of it. It's like, that's where everything starts small. Like, buildings weren't built. Like, everyone, look at everything that's ever been built by humans.
Yeah.
It started with an idea.
Yeah.
And that is super, super powerful. So if you have an idea, and maybe that's the universe or whatever you believe in that gave you that idea.
Yeah.
Like, and it's okay to, like, start small. Everyone does.
It just starts with one step.
Little steps.
Awesome. That was great.
I mean, every entrepreneur has a song to sing. I always say that.
Has a song to sing?
Yeah, or they have something, and that's like, I think that's the thing, that if you just know that it's okay.
Yeah. I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you wanted to talk about, or that you wanted people to know?
Definitely come to the Consumer Discovery Show, which is in New York on June 11th.
Yes.
And anything, we're here to help any consumer businesses out there, or consumer entrepreneurs, happy to help in any way.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This is really great. It's so great to meet you too. Thank you.